There was no recording earlier this week on this blog, so because Jane and I were away, we'd been to Vienna, and a beautiful place. When you walk around Vienna, I mean, as you all know, it's coffee houses and it's beautiful streets. It's wonderful buildings, full of museums and full of art galleries. So it's a great place for those of us that love culture, particularly those of us that love art. And while I was there, you know, Jane and I were able to see some magnificent things. We saw the Albertina Palace, which was beautiful. We saw the Belvedere Palace. We saw, we went to many of the galleries. We went to all, just so much of it. There's just tons and tons of beautiful, beautiful buildings. All the great wealth of the Habsburgs is there. And it reminds me a lot of, you know, we'd also been in the past to Versailles and also to St. Petersburg and seen the Hermitage and so forth. And the splendour of this place, of Vienna, is kind of, you know, it's just mind-boggling, the scale of it all. And, you know, when you look at this tremendous wealth, it made me think a little bit about, you know, our material world we live in, you know, because, you know, as we left Vienna, I said to Jane, you know, I don't know if she cottoned on what I was thinking about really, but I said, you know, as we step into the plane, you know, it's now just a memory, right? So all those places that we've been to, all those lovely places, it's marvellous to have those memories. It's marvellous to have had those experiences, but they are nonetheless now just a memory. You know, I return home, I go back to my normal life, and things can't carry on as normal. Because, you know, so many of us in life become kind of experience addicts, you know. We want more and more and more experience, you know. And in some ways, this is a mistake. Now, I was thinking about this. We had some time. I mean, like all big cities, these places are tiring, exhausting. So it's always nice to find somewhere to sit down. And where better than a church, or in Vienna's case, the marvellous Cathedral of St. Stephen's, which is one of the most grandiose Gothic-style buildings you could ever come to. And it was just full of fabulous organs and fabulous sculptures all over the place. A pulpit that was made with was carved with lizards all up the handles to show that a person is leaving behind all their negativity as they go to talk about the spiritual, and wheels going one way to go down to show the descent of the negativity and the rise of the positivity. I mean, there's all this little symbolism everywhere you look in these ancient places. Fabulous. But you could sit there, and we were sat in front of the tomb of one of the great, I don't know which tomb it was even now, but we were sat in front of the tombs, and I was thinking, you know, there's the tombs of all the people, or some of the people, that all owned all these great palaces and all this great wealth, you know, and there they are, you know, they're now bodies, they're just dead, they're just dust, you know. And it brings home when you sit and contemplate in these vast places, you know, that, you know, no matter how much you achieve, no matter how much wealth you have, you can never really ever possess it completely, can you? It's all out there, you know. And when we go to these lovely places, our mind becomes very externalized, you know. Oh, let's go to the next place. What's along that street? What's along there? Oh, let's go and get a cake. Oh, those ice creams look good. Oh, how about trying that Italian over there? You know, your mind's going out all the time. And it's a trap everybody, every single one of us falls into constantly, all the time. Because we live all the time on the outside, you know, we're looking outside ourselves. And all these people that owned all this wealth, that's what they were doing, you know. They wanted to achieve something, so they achieved it externally. You know, I own all this is all mine, this marvellous palace is mine. Look at my marvellous achievement. Look at how wonderful I am for having achieved this, you know. What they're trying to do is kind of search for a form of eternity, really, aren't they? They put big statues up of themselves and show their conquests and so forth. But it's like trying to eternalize something about you. You know, it's a huge ego trip, really. you know. And every person, you know, does it in their own small way in the world. You know, they're trying to make their mark. They're trying to be something special. I mean, look at Facebook. Look at the rubbish people put up on there of the great wise sort of sayings they put up, as if that makes them something special, you know. Or even someone like me talking like this, you know. You could be just all, it could all just be a plain ego trip if you're not careful. So we live eternally trying to find something outside ourselves to make it real, make it positive, make it eternal. And that's, of course, a mistake, isn't it? Because all these things are just transient. We can enjoy the pageant and change of it all. It's marvellous to see all these beautiful places. It's wonderful to look at all these paintings and the marvellous music we can hear in Vienna, for example. All these things are marvellous, but they are all transient. They're all things that are just passing through. We come into this world, you know, and everything that now exists, you know, everything that's around us, no matter how marvellous and great it is, it doesn't last forever, does it? It fulfills its purpose. It's here for a while, and then it's gone. It's dust. Even this body that I'm talking to you now in will be dust one day. You will be dust, you know, and it just passes away. It's just in time itself. It's just moving forward, and as it does, even the great arts of, you know, Michelangelo's sculptures and the paintings of Leonardo and the paintings I saw by Klimt there in Vienna and so forth, that one day will just all be gone. It will all be dust. It will all be forgotten. And how many of these great works of art that exist now will fall away into a great veil of sort of forgetting, you know, be no longer remembered, you know? How many were there in the past? How many great people were there in this world that nobody knows about now? There was, you know, great artists that might have existed that nobody ever knew were passed through this world, you know? Everything falls ultimately away. And if we can embrace that, I think we're safer. We need to accept that the world just passes on. We're just passing through this world. We cannot hold on to anything. We cannot, no matter how magnificent our homes, how magnificent our palaces even, we can't hold on to it. It's out there. It's not in ourselves, you know. But what we can retain is a greater treasure, which is the treasure of our inner self. Because the person that's having the experience continues, you know. The person that is me, that was a week ago or a few days ago even experienced in Vienna, is now back here experiencing this world. So we live in the present moment all the time, and we just see it as a passing display, you know. It's just, then we can enjoy it for what it is and see it as just a magnificent piece of music that the world is. But as soon as we try to grasp hold of it, we've had it. So it's important to not live on the outside, as I said these people do, and we all do, but to live on the inside, looking out. Not looking out to everything we want's out there, but everything we need is in here. And it'll all be there as much as we want forever. Our memories, maybe they will persist forever. Maybe they will persist into the next life, as I believe they do through my mediumship. But even if they didn't, you know, it's still, we'll still be happier if we live from the inside looking out, right? And it's like my nan said, you know, just to summarise and finally say, she used to say to me, and she said this quite soon before she died actually, she said, "Craig, there's no pockets in a shroud. Remember that." And it really stuck in my mind. I mean, it's an old saying, but we can't take any of it with us except what's deep in us, can we? That stays forever, you know. So let's get our values right in this world. Let's not go chasing material things or even worrying about all the things that are happening in the world out there. Because just as the good things pass away, so do the bad things pass away. But we continue eternally. Jane and I now do our spiritual work for our foundation. All the profits that come from things like our conferences and theatres and workshops and all those exciting things now go into this foundation, which ultimately has the long-term plan of building centres in the UK and maybe around the world one day. But meanwhile, we've been doing a lot of direct spiritual work with it. We've been going out, feeding people in India, giving to the destitute, giving to beggars. We've helped feed schools, helped orphanages, and we've even given cows to older people that have no other form of income. So mediumship can change your life, but it can also help people directly in the world. So go to the links at the end and find out all about what Jane and I are trying to do. And you can do a lot just by sharing these videos on social media. Help us get the word out. Help us to do something really good in this world. Click on this picture of me to subscribe to our channel and see all of our latest videos as soon as they're published. Or click on this next video for more of our stuff.